up, everybody? Welcome back to the second episode of the Nice Guys podcast. I am one half of your host, or one trio of your host. I think we're at some point we're gonna have our other guy come in here and join us. He's busy with some life stuff right now. Um, Big things happening for him, and we're really proud of him. So when he's got the chance to be on, he'll definitely be involved with these episodes. But nonetheless, as before, I've stated my name is Ty Bow PD99. And I got my boy here with me from the last week's episode, Duper09. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. How are you feeling?
Buddy, I'm trying to keep positive. I'm not sure if I have a cold or not or something, man. I got this like tickle in the back of my throat, and I got like the stuffy nose. And but the weather's crazy. It's hot one day, cold the next. So it's a toss up on what it actually is.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You just get some vitamin C, hit some emergencies.
Listen, I tell you what, man.
Just don't be soft. You'll be all right.
You can't be soft in today's society. You can't. But no, the thing is man, I tell you what, elderberry, vitamin C, the emergency, like the little packets with the powder, mix that in the
Yeah,
drink. I do that every day before I leave. Two elderberry vitamins, and then the vitamin C pack in it, and I think it just does wonders for me. I really do.
yeah.
So,
I'll just be smashing water, and that seems to work for me. But
staying hydrated, huh?
you, yeah, you want to do a little rundown of your week? How's it been going? We're already Wednesday again.
Yeah, man.
It just seems like um, especially being at school every day just goes by so quick. So
I'm telling you, buddy. Yeah, man. My week's been great, man. So for the last time that we spoke last week, Thursday, Friday, easy going, man. Easy going. Work was super calm, chilled. Appreciated that. And Saturday and Sunday, man, had a laid back day at the house. Actually, I don't know if you saw the picture or not. If I sent it to you, but I ended up, the laundry room like area in my basement.
yeah,
So I actually built up a wall connecting everything so it's completely closed in now. So like it's just a complete laundry room, and the cat boxes and stuff are in there. So like it's just all shut off.
nice.
So it's all it's all closed in.
It's
So
just that like one little doorway that goes into it.
yeah,
No,
literally, yeah. You come down the steps and right there's that
nice.
doorway, and it's all enclosed now. So I did the work myself, man. That was a project and a half. Used some techniques I was taught by your old man back in the day. So
Yeah, I didn't see the picture of that, so I didn't even know.
yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you after this. But nonetheless, man, the weekend went by way too fast as always. I think we both can agree on that. But
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, calm, and today, man, for work I had to drive down to Charleston. So for me, that's probably about 3.5 hours one way. So 7 hours round trip in a vehicle for a meeting today. But nonetheless, man, Thursday and Friday looking good, and we'll see what the rest of the week got for us, man. How about you, brother? How's school been going? How's your week been going?
Yeah, my week's been going good. Monday was solid. I do have four classes on Monday though, so I'm in one building from 1:10 to about 7:30.
Damn.
Um, and I don't even know how I feel after that, but that's my only really rough day of the week. And then Tuesday, I only have one class, so I don't have to wake up super early or anything. Um, but those 2 days were good. Today was good. I worked this morning and then I had two classes. Had a little back and buys in the gym today, and then did a little bit of studying. But it's just been a busy week. I've been studying a lot and just focusing on the right things so far.
There you go, brother. How so you said you got that job, man. How's that been for you? Has it added to the chaos,
It's
or is it kind of like in a good escape for you in a way?
um I it's a little it honestly is a nice little escape. I get out of this little room for a little bit. And it's not a super stressful job. I mean, I only work like 2, 3 days a week usually, so
Good deal.
um, just keeps putting gas in my car, I guess.
There you go, man. That's what it's all about. That's spending money and being able to have the time, have things to enjoy your time there. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
absolutely. Anything you want to share with the listeners, man? That might have happened this week. It might have been
Oh yeah.
exciting
I
or
actually I actually know the perfect thing to bring up, and that's the new season of Siege, man.
Siege. Okay.
Yeah, my little ass has been getting back into it.
Okay.
I
All
used
right.
to play it way back in the day when I was a fat little middle schooler.
Uh huh.
And new season, a new operator. There's all kinds of new stuff. So I've
Okay.
been playing that. The season came out, I believe. I think it was either Monday morning or Tuesday. I think it was Monday morning, or it might have been yesterday. I forget honestly, but I already got 6 games. I'm 3-3. I got a 1.10 KD.
Nice.
I'm dogging. I'm
Dogging.
dogging.
So for those of you that don't know, maybe you can enlighten them, Duper. What a lot of the gaming community will definitely know what Siege is, but like for the people that don't play games on a regular basis, we all know it's an FPS shooter, or some that don't, it's an FPS shooter. But what's the game style? How would you say that is?
Yeah, it's a tactical shooter. You got a team of five versus a team of five. You have defense, you have offense, you have a ton of unique operators with their own equipment and abilities, and you go to war against each other. It's 5v5. It's awesome. It's fun. It's great.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah, I
Yeah,
we all know what happens when I join in on the game. I don't
yeah, yeah.
I don't do so well. Coming from the Xbox side, playing it, it's definitely a different tempo when you step into the key and mouse scene.
Oh yeah,
So
the big dogs.
the big dogs
I'm
up
the
there.
big dog,
But
but
hey, sometimes you got them little porch puppies that sit there and let
yeah,
the
old
big dog eat all
crazy.
their food type deal.
Yeah, old crazy Craig. He's not scared of anyone. So.
So yeah, and that's a good point, man. So video games and stuff like that. Tell the people, man. What is that like? Do you kind of do that for fun? Do you do that kind of like that's just what you're used to doing? Do you do that for like a mental escape, or what's video games to you, man?
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, I think it is more like an escape or a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I still get very competitive with them, and
Right.
I'm not
Right.
ashamed to say that because I'm trying to be the best. You gotta be great in everything you do.
Right.
Um, Back in the day, I think it strictly was for, uh, and you know how I used to be on them back in the day. Like
You you
I was trying to make everyone miserable, and my life was the video games. But
right.
um,
Yeah. For
you
those that
know,
don't know, man, this guy would wake up in the morning. And before he even brushed his teeth, man, he put the headset on, tuned up the game, ready to rock and roll for the day. Played it all day, most of the night with sleep, very minimal, and get back to it.
yeah, the single earpiece, just sitting in my underwear in the living room, just playing on a big ass TV all day, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty type stuff.
Um, but like I was saying, I think as I've gotten older, there's a lot of real life stuff going on, so
Right,
using those to kind of escape from that a little bit, have some fun.
right,
Um, it's important. You got to have something like that in your life. So
right. Yeah, and that's a good point, man. So like kind of like a mental decompression, if you will, something like that. That's what video games
yeah,
mean to you now, then, right? Being a little bit older
yeah,
than what you
just
did.
yeah, take a step back and just breathe and have a little bit of a distraction.
Right, right.
I don't sit there for 8 hours anymore and play a game, but like an hour and a half, 2 hours isn't bad to just sit there and zone out for a little bit. And I mean, and if you play with friends, you get to chop it up with the boys. So
Absolutely,
it's a good thing to have.
absolutely, man. Yeah, I think gaming for me, man, has changed in that aspect as well. Like I remember, being a young kid, middle schooler, elementary school age, and just kind of, just really playing the game for fun to just play the game, really. And I didn't think of it other than being able to get on, having that freedom as a kid to kind of just sit down, do whatever I wanted to do when all my other stuff was done, and just dedicate my time to the game to just play a video game. And now I appreciate it so much more because it offers, and a lot of people, especially the gaming communities out there, it offers that escape and that mental decompression for somebody that might go work a 9 to 5 or work that 8 hour to 10 hour to 12 hour grind, and then they come home,
Hmm.
and that's their escape from reality, or that nice mental reset, to tackle the next day. So, um, yeah, man, gaming like that for sure. Have you Do you do anything else? Like, is there other things for you that you do to get you through the day that also allow you to mental decompress for the day or mental reset or kind of just get away?
Yeah, I think even though it is a little corny, but like using the gym a little bit, um, that definitely helps. Reading or just I don't read as much as like going to the gym or playing video games, but
Right,
reading does help where you can just sit and if you can really focus in on like what you're reading, it does help. Um, Other than that, there's really not much. Um, my main one though is just going hard on Siege or Call of Duty or something like that.
right. So that like the video games is like probably you would say a good 80 to 20% ratio of what your mental decompression techniques or your mental
Yeah,
resets look like. Yeah,
yeah, for
I
sure.
definitely relate to that, man. I think for me, I took a big break from the video game scene. I haven't been on probably in about a week or so. And to some people that might not seem like a lot, but I mean, for you that you know me, I was on the games, a lot. And so
Yeah,
um, for me in my life right now, with obviously being a father and everything, I just really try to take a step back and kind of see it and try to find things that help me in the moment. Have that mental decompression or that mental reset to where it's not cutting into time with the family and stuff like that too. So um, yeah, I think I mean I use the I don't go to a gym per se. I'm fortunate enough where my basement's loaded out with a lot of stuff where I have a lot of the cardio equipment. For me, man, the biggest thing I will tell you that I have honed in on to really mentally decompress or mentally reset, whatever you want to call it. Um, Boxing, man. Boxing has been a big thing for me, and not like sparring with individuals, but like, I got the heavy bag. You've been to my crib, so you know what I'm talking about. But, the heavy bag, watching some YouTube videos on different exercises with the heavy bag, learning some new techniques in the boxing realm, and um, I got the training mitts too that what I'm talking about, like the padded things that you put on
yeah,
your hands and
yeah,
stuff. Um, so I've been doing that with my wife, man, and it's good for both of us. It's a good workout, to be healthy, to have a healthy lifestyle, and but man, I'm telling you what, you spend 30 to 45 minutes, hitting the heavy bag or hitting those pads and just really honing in on that activity. You're reset. I think anyway. I mean, for me, that's what works for me. Um, Duper, like, let me ask you, man. Do you like other mental decompression techniques out there? What would you suggest? Like, let's just say, like maybe one of the listeners out there, um, doesn't do the video game scene or doesn't do the workout scene. You kind of honed in and on it a little bit with the reading, but like, is there any other mental decompression techniques that you've heard of, or somebody in your life has come to you and you might suggest to somebody else that maybe you don't partake in yourself?
yeah. I think getting outside and maybe just going for a walk,
Right.
leaving your phone behind and kind of just being able to focus on how you're feeling and um, or maybe just go and take a walk and focus on your breath. But I think getting outside is important. Um,
Why do you think that's important? Like for
I
like just
just
to get outside kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you get outside, you're away from your phone, you're away from all the distractions. You can kind of sit with your thoughts and really kind of work through how you're feeling about things.
Right.
I think it's like a really good time to be with yourself. Um, yeah. Other than that, I think maybe reading, because you're talking about like other things than playing video games or going to the gym. So I think um, reading is a really good one too.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would say just get outside and get away from all the technology and all the distractions, and then read as well.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, I think excuse me. I think that the getting away from the technology, man. We're in our generation, especially, us, and I'm just speaking for the people, maybe let's just say 18. Well, no, not now. But like, let's say, shit, kids nowadays, man, are 9, 10, walking around with cell phones. But like,
Yeah.
let's just say 10 to 35, 40, somewhere in that. And you know, I'm not trying to exclude anybody in particular, but you know, I think that it's really important that we're so developed and we're so consumed in our technology, you know, with our phones, iPads, stuff like that, man. It just, I think you miss a lot of the opportunities that are right in front of you as far as personal interactions and connections with someone because you're so glued to your phone or you're so glued to the technology that you kind of live your life through social media, and sometimes you might stop and you know, not think about being in the moment right there when you're in there. Like an example of that, man. And this is not to discredit people who really, you know, use their phones, like watching TikToks or, you know, scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or
Yeah.
Instagram, things like that. This is not to discredit. That might be a good mental decompression technique for them. It's just, you know, a good example, you know, that I see, man. Um, you know, you saw the other day, not the other day, but you know, when LeBron broke history. You know what I'm saying? When people saw that event happen, what was the thing that you saw? People with their cell
Everybody's
phones.
recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their cell phones out. So like, and they did the side by side. I saw, you know, where you know um, when Kareem had it broke. Obviously, that was a different time frame, a different area. But like, um, you know, people were living in the moment, and I think people, you know, sometimes or blind by the social media aspect of life right now, and you know, but that's just a generation thing, and that's not me to discredit or you know, put somebody down for that, but you know, I don't know if you've tried it, man, but some for me, man, journaling, you know, and not journaling of like um, writing a story or something of that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that regard, but like journaling, like taking 3 events that happened in that day, and whether they're good or bad events, man, just recording them
Hmm.
and either talking about why it was a good event or why it was a bad event and how you can maybe change that in the future or not be so ignorant to that fact moving forward.
Yeah.
That's something I really honed in on, man. The journaling is really big for me. Music, man, music is my go-to. I honestly, you know, I don't spend a lot of time watching TV, watching movies like I used to do when I was a little bit younger. I just, to me, man, I would rather much rather listen to, you know, an album or a couple songs or something that, you know, I resonate with, and that to me is also another big, you know, another big thing to mentally reset. You know, just to kind of get away for a little bit. That's something that I use. Let me ask you, man, like. How important, like in our society, you know, because you know what different generations like I'm not speaking ill anybody, but like, you know, from our grandmother, our grandparents' generation to our parents' generation to our generation now, how important do you think it is now, or how different do you think it is now than it was back then from what you've heard about mental decompression techniques and mentally resetting? Like, do you think that there's a difference now to then, or what do you see, or can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Um. I mean, I think uh, just right now, like the way that everyone lives, I think is extremely important to kind of get away from everything. Like I know me personally, like I'm online almost all the time, and especially being a young guy in school, um, I put a lot of pressure on myself to be successful. I think everybody does, but um, just dealing with being online and having something to do all the time, like you just got to get the f away from that, and because if you don't, you're gonna lose your mind. And I think a lot of people can relate to putting a little too much pressure on themselves. And I mean, I work my ass off every day, on my schoolwork.
Right.
And if you don't step away, you're literally going to lose your mind. So I think it's just important, even if you're not in school, just to get away and have time throughout the day where you can take like 10 minutes to yourself, whether you're going to journal, like you said, or Um, just sit there and whether you're going to do like breathing exercises or something like that.
Right,
But
and
it's
it's even that
important. It's
simple.
important. It's important to have a routine like that.
Right, right. Do you find the older generation has a problem doing that, or they're not as informed or up to date on it as young people are today?
I think like grandparents' age, they probably don't really get it.
Right,
But I think a little bit younger than that, I think they get it. Um,
right. I think like the older generation has that perception of what do you mean, like, you're mentally checked out, or you're mentally stressed, or you need a mental reset. What's that? Because like I think people in that generation kind of just bucked up,
yeah,
shut up about it, and they just did it and they worked through
yeah,
it. So like to them, they didn't know what, and maybe they did, but they didn't know what it was to have that anxiety, or have the
hmm
stress on their brain. And so like it was just kind of like, oh well, a lot of these guys, they went to war, or they left school and they went and worked in factories, or they worked really physically demanding jobs, but it wasn't, they didn't come home to mentally be checked out, because then they had to come home and take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah,
I think it's a generational difference, and you're not saying one is better or worse than the other. I'm just saying I think there are differences that cause a disconnect between such that big age gap. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. No, definitely younger people. Um, they can. I feel like we understand kind of needing to take time for your mental, or just taking care of your mental in general.
right, right. Do you think? Let me ask you, and this could be a controversial take on it, and and I don't want this to be perceived the wrong way at all, but do you think that people in our generation use that more as a crutch because it's so much more available now than it was back then, or do you think that it's just talked about a lot more now than it was back then?
I think it can be used as a crutch. I know that I mean I've done it with myself before. Like you do need to be tough with yourself, but also you need to recognize when you need to start taking care of yourself.
Right,
But like for me, I'm in school. Like I gotta work. I gotta do stuff every day. Like there's really no time to feel sorry for myself.
right, right,
But I think if you maintain like these little routines we're talking about, like where you're doing focused breathing, where you're going on walks or journaling or anything like that, reading. I think if you do that, you can kind of help to maintain or even improve your mental. So you won't even think of making excuses about not getting stuff done.
right, right. No, yeah, and I definitely agree, man. I think to me it's a tough place. I mean, like I said, I'm a little bit older than you, but I don't I consider myself in your generation, just for the simple fact that we have the same, we have a lot more similarities in the way of thinking than we do differences. But I think I think people, yeah, I do think people at some points in time in their life maybe lean on it a little too much. But I do agree with you in the fact that in our generation, it's talked about a lot more than it was back then. I think, and I think people in our generation are more comfortable to be able to say, you know what, mentally I'm just overloaded. This is what I need to take a step back. I need to take some time for myself to kind of just you know, and I know I've been repeating this a lot, and I don't mean to, but just reset and come back to tackle that obstacle or that objective that I'm facing
Yeah.
in the moment. So, and kudos, and I don't want to discredit it. I don't know what kind of listener base we're gonna continue to have, but hopefully if it varies, and hopefully we have a little bit of this and that listen. But to the older generation out there, please don't hear that this is a knock to you. I mean, you guys worked through a lot of shit. You guys did a lot, and you had to face that kind of on your own. I mean, you probably leaned on your families, and that's fantastic. But it wasn't something that was public. As publicized it is right now. So To the older generation, you guys are stand up people, and I think sometimes we just kind of don't understand the way you think, and that can cause a disconnect. But as a younger generation, we don't mean it to. But just really important for me to make that known that both sides of the plate, have their pros and cons. Um,
Yeah.
so, well, yeah, man, I definitely think to anybody that's out there that's going through some stuff, man. I mean, I from the people I know in my life, there's the younger people in my life that are in school right now, going through stuff. Keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
Um, reach out to those people that in your circle and that you trust and feel
Yep.
comfortable speaking with, man. Keep going, and the people that
And
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to chime in real quick before I forgot what I was gonna say, but um, it is important to be on that grind, especially when you're younger in school. But uh, always make time every day to just kind of sit with yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause like one thing I do is I'll walk around and I'll have my phone playing YouTube all day,
Right.
and I don't. I'm obviously not gonna feel bad when I have that going because I'm distracting myself from how I feel or what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the most beneficial thing that you can do for yourself is just to sit there and feel what you're thinking. And the best way to do it is to write in your journal. Um, I'm not consistent with it, but I just wanted to kind of butt in and say that, like, just take some time throughout the day and sit with your thoughts, um, and then continue your grind after you do that.
Right. Like some take like in a sense take some time to love yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
like
love your
take an
mind.
inventory, to see how you're feeling about things. Like,
Right. To compartmentalize like
yeah,
what the priorities are in the moment, and what you can put on the back burner and then address it later and keep moving. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, man, and that's the thing, man. Like I'm, I don't want to chime like I don't want to have this be like I don't want to act or come off like I know what I'm talking about because I've had my own struggles. I'm sure you've had your own struggles, and in a moment it's easy to say what people should do and how people should think, but when you're in that moment, you know sometimes it's a lot harder to kind of grasp that concept. So basically, the point of this episode, man, was just to basically, just kind of talk on some mental decompression techniques, something that works for us personally, some things that we can, spread love out there to those that might not have thought about journaling. And for example, and when they listen to this and they start journaling and it really helps them, or they come to us in the comments and in the feedback and say, hey, well, here's some things that I do, and that's great, and somebody might pick up off that, but that's the point of what we were trying to get across today, I think, and wouldn't you agree, Duper?
yeah. I agree. Uh, would you say it's about time for our closing segment here?
Absolutely, man. So um, every ending of our episodes, man. This is what we're gonna do. So and it's something really fun, and I think it's been done in some other aspects and other places. But man, we're gonna do our segment, man. It's called Nice Chat, and basically what we're gonna do, man, is simple. We're gonna just do a five top five draft class for certain topics, and I'm gonna put 1 through 5 on my list, and we're gonna go back and forth. I'll give my one, Duper will give his one, and all the way down to 5, or start at 5 and go to 1, whatever have you. But Duper, what's the topic today, brother? What are we drafting today?
Yeah, so I think we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and I believe that we agreed on doing our top five Call of Duties of all time,
Top five
which
Call of
is
Duties. Okay.
a little silly considering what we talked about today, but it is what it is. This is the Nice Guys podcast. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
And I
So,
think too, man. The beauty of the podcast is it don't got to be serious all the time, man. It's just we're having fun. We're doing it. We're loving it, and
yeah,
hopefully somebody feels the same
this
way.
is this is just the wave we were on for today. We wanted to talk about mental decompression. Now we're going to talk about our top five Call of Duties.
So, Duper, go ahead, brother. I'll let you kick off. However you want to do it. If you want to go 5 down to 1, or up to 1, I mean, or 1 down to 5, that's up to you. I'll let you lead it off, though.
Yeah. So I think what I want to do is go from five and build up to one.
Okay. All right. Yep. Give me your number five pick.
Okay. So for number five,
Uh huh.
I am gonna go with Call of Duty for Modern Warfare.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that's a respectable five spot. Um, I think. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that was a 2007 release, right? That was like, I think that was
Yeah,
right when they were going.
that was the one that they remastered in when did they remaster that one? Like 2017, 2016, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think that's a good start off for number five spot. Solid contender. Definitely deserves to be in that top five spot. For me, brother, I think, and this is just me being a little bit older than you. And I remember playing this, you know, for on my on the older systems. But number five for me would be the original 2003 Call of Duty. That's when it released, 2003.
Okay.
Um, October 29th to be exact, 2003.
All right.
It's a really it was a really good game. I remember that was like my first FPS shooter I ever got into.
Were
So,
you good at it or no?
well, I mean, what was I, about eight at that point? So probably not.
You're
If I
probably a dog. No,
probably
you're probably
dog
better
water,
than what you are now. You're probably better.
yeah, something like that.
All right, we ready to go on to number four?
Number four, brother. Go ahead.
All right, number four, and this is strictly um just because of how much time I actually put into this game. Played it with my brother, and I mean, we were dogging on this game.
Okay. Okay.
And this one, I don't think you have it in your top five, and I think this is actually a sleeper.
Uh huh.
It's gonna be Call of Duty.
Uh huh.
It's the 2014 release of Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare.
Yes.
Okay, that was a sleeper for you, huh?
I think it is a sleeper. I feel like it's a little overhated just because of the jetpacks. Like if you're old, you're old. Just say that. You
Just
can't
say that.
handle the
Hating
jetpacks.
on the old heads. No, I mean, yeah, I would agree. Advanced Warfare is not going to be in my top five, but nonetheless, man, I think I gotta go. Um, my number four pick, and and a lot of people might not agree with it, but this is just me. This is strictly opinion. Coming in at my number four spot, 2010 release, Call of Duty started a second very good franchise for the Call of Duty series,
Mm-hmm.
Black Ops.
Yep. I'm honestly surprised that it's at four because I figured you would have had it higher, but I respect it nonetheless.
Well, wait, you'll hear my top three, and you might dog on me for
Okay.
it, but go ahead, man. What's your number three? What's your number three?
All right, number three. I mean, I feel like the top three games are pretty much obvious.
Yeah, they
Uh,
might be. They might be.
honestly, not having Black Ops 1 in my top five is a little bit criminal.
Okay.
But number three, I gotta go Modern Warfare 2.
Number three, Modern Warfare 2. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
I
mean,
mean that's
I played it, but I didn't play it as much as my top two games, and the top two games I feel like are they're just above the rest.
okay. Um, man, damn. For in this is hard, but I'm gonna go ahead and say my number three. My number three is going to be. Oh God, dude, I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you, for the sole purpose of. So you said Modern Warfare 2, number three. Um,
Yep.
it was a pivotal game for the franchise. It really really set the tone, for what we know now. Um, for the Modern Warfare series that they came out with, in the last several years. So I would agree with you. Number three for me is Modern Warfare 2.
Alrighty, and I guess that leaves the top two spots here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's been a little bit controversial up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think my top five is. I feel like uh my five and four are a little bit weird, but Number two, I'm gonna have to go with Modern Warfare 3.
Modern Warfare 3.
Yes, strictly because I remember waking up, putting on my little one-ear headset with my underwear, sitting in the living room all day and playing that from like 8 in the morning till 8 at night.
Listen, dude, and that was I tell you what, for that one, Modern Warfare 3, that was a big one for me too because I just remember playing the Spec Ops game mode on that a lot. Like I didn't even really play the multiplayer game mode, and I obviously played the campaign, but the Spec Ops, man, the Juggernauts, the waves, man, that was it was crazy. For my number two pick, and this is solely opinion, and I'm gonna catch a lot of hate from these people on this, but um, golly, man, and I hate to say it, I really do.
God.
My number two for me is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. For this,
Okay.
for the simple,
Nah.
for the simple fact that I could just remember the like for the like you said the fact of advanced warfare with the the jetpacks stuff like that, the
Yeah.
futuristic feel on the Black Ops series, man. I just remember with all my friends, like that was the game that we played. We get home from doing what we had to do in the day. Some of us were working at that point in time. Some of us were still in school, all that, whatever have you. I remember just spending hours, countless hours playing S&D on that game mode or on that
Yep.
game.
Yep.
So that'd be my number two.
Yeah, and now that you name that, I'm actually a little bit upset. I kind of forgot about that one when I thought of my list, but MW3, there's nothing like MW3 with the ACR in that game. The
Mm-hmm.
like even the pistols in that game just felt so good. But moving on to number one, I feel like number one is clear cut. I feel like me and you are gonna have the same exact game here,
We might not, but go ahead.
and I mean, there's no shot you don't have it, but I'm gonna have to go with Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2
Black Ops
for
2
the
is
number one.
my best Call of Duty game ever.
So you you didn't you left out a good one, an honorable mention, man. Would be and I don't know if you played it a lot, but Call of Duty World at War.
That would be my honorable mention. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, for me, now I know D Money listens into this. He's gonna kill me because that's his favorite Call of Duty of all time. I am going to not agree with you for number one for just it just comes down to personal. That's all it is for me, personal. Call of Duty for my number one pick, taking the cake, being my starter, being the team captain. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Solely
Whoa.
solely for the reason of Blackout.
I mean, I respect it, but like base Black Ops 4 was so butt.
But I'm not talking just base. I'm talking what carried it into the number one was Call of Duty's
I
first
know.
introduction to a battle royale scene, and Blackout, man, was just so smooth. And to all the people that are my age, you know what it was like putting on the headset, turning on your systems, playing Blackout for hours. It got to the point, Duper, where we would just be taking turns, and then when the person that had the least kills out of the team for that squad that we had, they had to sit out, and we would just rotate in. So you were, you were fueled to play better. So you got to keep your spot and keep playing. But
So were you rotated out a lot then? Is that what
I
that means?
I wasn't rotated out a lot because I suck at FPS games, but. That is my number one pick, the 2018 release, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, solely for the purpose of Blackout.
All right. Well, I guess I will throw in a couple honorable mentions because
Go
I
ahead.
did forget about a couple games, but
Yeah,
World at War and Black Ops 3 would be my honorable mentions.
yeah. World at War,
World at War, I mean, I was a young feller when that came out,
Young Buck.
but I do have memories of playing that. Um, and then Black Ops 3, obviously, I mean, I was like in middle school when that came out, so I was playing that every day, basically.
Right, 100%. Yeah, I agree. I would agree with you for the honorable mentions, man. Um, man, for that's it, man. That's it. I don't want to get keep extending the conversation on that, but we know what Call of Duty has done now. Some good, some bad, and it's tough to see what the game has turned into in some aspects. But for the
for
younger
sure.
generation of players, they love it, man. But yeah, that's my top five. Duper, that's your top five. Um, Everybody, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope that you felt comfortable listening to us and really enjoyed the content we brought to you today. I'm really excited for our next episode. Looking to have our first ever special guest on there. Hopefully, if things can work out. If not, then it'll just be being Duper back at it again, or potentially having D Money on here. But for those of you, man, that are out there and you're showing us love, we really appreciate you. This is just something for us to do to kind of get away and just really enjoy what we're doing. So much love to y'all. Duper, any words of wisdom before we cut out, brother?
Nah, just keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. All right, much love to y'all. Take care.